Well, Coach, first of all, let's take a look back at the game against West Alabama this past Saturday. The Choctaws fell to the Tigers 38-13. Sometimes it's difficult to find momentum swings in a game, but in this game, I think one momentum swing that was pretty clear was the blocked punt there at the end of the first half that made it a 10-10 game to a 17-10 game in favor of West Alabama going into the half, and that was a big momentum swing for West Alabama.
There's no doubt about it. And you know what, as much as you'd like to not blame it on one play and all that, that's because that's part kind of what we know that football is a game of momentum and a game of inches, and every play counts. You never know when that play is going to be. And we had it wasn't like they were coming out to block it. It was a simple rush, just some miscommunication by a couple of our guys, and because they did the same thing all game long the rest of the way, and every punt we just got off just fine. So it was definitely a momentum swing, and it kind of gave them some momentum, but also took a little air out of our sails. We were really fighting hard, and I felt like we fought the rest of the way, but not quite the same. We kind of lost a little belief that we've got a real shot to win this game.
With Josh Dixon and Morgan Sharp out for the ball game, I thought quarterback Sharon Wright picked up the slack. He had 350 all-purpose yards and had over 7 yards per carry when he ran with the football, and he showed the kind of leadership you want out of a quarterback.
He did, and he's just getting better and better. Some of the things we've got to do is, as a quarterback play, and not just him and Walker and the rest of the guys, our expectations are going to continue to grow and grow as we compete to win. I know our team has a desire to win, and this is a tough league to do that in. And so, if our expectations are to win, our expectations of our play is going to continue to get better and better. And that day he did a lot of things really, really well. Some of the things Sharon has to do better is a few plays that we wish we could have back. We had an interception, and we had a missed screen route. Just a few things that he can do, and we've got to make those plays. It's not like we have to be perfect, but we got to be pretty close.
But you talk about it in this conference, those kind of mistakes are magnified because the competition is that much better.
No doubt about it. And here's the thing, our level of play has increased. Our talent level has increased. We're a little bigger, we're a little faster. But still, this is really our second recruiting class, and at a school that was Division III for almost 20 years. And so it's going to take some time, and we've got to understand one thing, and our players do as well. We're not as deep as the teams we're going to play. We do have some players that match up. We have a lot of players that match up. We have guys who can compete, and we can compete to win. There's no doubt about it. But just like you said, we've got to be better on a play-by-play basis as far as more consistent.
Well, Coach, Marcel Newsom had a great bounce-back game. He had 8 catches and showed great awareness of where the football is and making the adjustments on the fly to go get the football.
No doubt about it. One of the things we did also was just work on getting him the ball and our other receivers. I want to say we had 24 catches. Marcel had 8 of those. He was our number one guy in the game, but he can make some things happen. He really bounced back from the week before. He didn't have such a good game. He had a few drops, had a few plays where he faced some adversity and it affected his game in a negative way. Well, this week he decided to step it up and made some really big plays. And I think he showed what he's capable of doing every week.
Some defensive players are starting to step up and make big plays of their own as well. And that's what you need from your defense. Daquan Lewis had a forced fumble, and
yes.
Courtney Allen, Caleb Coleman each recovered fumbles in that ball game. You need those kind of plays from your defense.
No doubt about it. Some of the things that you see throughout the year, starting in spring practice, we got guys flying around the ball, really making things happen where there's less pressure. It's not a game type situation. It's in the spring ball, and hey, if you mess up, you mess up. But you can go fast, and you can really make some things that hit hard. That's what Daquan Lewis did last spring, and it's starting to show up, and it showed up on that play right there. That was an explosive play, one of those that you see in the Gulf South Conference on a weekly basis. So that was exciting to see, and the other guys are making things happen. So as we settle in a little bit, I think we're going to see more of those as the year goes on.
What do you teach your players about the balance between playing under control and maybe even a little tight, and also letting loose every once in a while?
No doubt about it. That's one of the things. I don't know if this is the right thing to say, but we know that football is a violent game. When you think about violence out there, and you're talking about the aggressiveness that it takes to be really physical, and because you're going against another guy that's trying to move you this direction, and you're trying to move him that direction. You're trying to tackle, and he's trying to score. And so the one who's the most physical is going to be the one that wins. But you can't just be out of control and wild. You know, you have to be under control and execute the plan. So violent execution of the plan is really what we're trying to do. And that is difficult to do. Someone has to be able to go fast, but also be under control at the same time, be very physical, but also use proper technique at all times. So it's a balance where, you know, sometimes people that run around and they're very fast and they're getting to the football, but they're not making plays, is not what you're looking for. You're looking for guys that are going slow and maybe not making plays because they're not going fast enough. You got to get that right in the middle, and that's what we're starting to find a little bit in our defense.
How has Josh Dixon looked in practice? Has he been available for practice this week? Has it been limited?
He has been limited, and he's been nursing that ankle just a little bit, but he is getting better and better every day. So we're hoping to get him back. He's obviously one of our best players, and we've got some other guys that have really stepped up too, though, in this week, and I think we'll be better at that position as well, even without Josh, but we hope to have him back.
Well, we've got the Cumberland University this week here in town. They defeated the University of the Cumberlands out of Kentucky, Cumberland University out of Tennessee, that's right. 17-14, they got their first win, and they have a very balanced running game, a good 1-2 attack in the backfield. I
know their coaches really well. We've played against them for 7 or 8 years when I was at the University of the Cumberlands, and they're going to be well coached, I know that. And they're a good football team. They played some good competition. They lost to 2 teams that are probably playoff teams, the NAIA, earlier in the year, and then they beat a team who was 7-3 last year, and I know their talent level is I know their quarterback's really good. So one of the guys that I coached as a freshman, and so it's exciting to be able to be familiar with the team. But I know they're going to be a definite challenge for our ball club, and we'll have to play well to beat them.
I don't guess anybody's going to be looking ahead to the game next week up in Cleveland.
No, not at all. You know what? We know that that's there, and Delta State will be. It'll be too early to look ahead, though. We're not in position to do that right now. We're 1-2, just like a lot of teams across the country, and it's time to win a football game and make it 2-2.
Coach, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much. Good luck.
Thank you.